welcome to Finish Your Business. In our podcast, we leave no business unfinished. I am your host, Namrata Sethi, and this podcast is brought to you by MEGE, which is a joint project with Haaga-Helia University of Applied Sciences, Helsinki Business College, the Aalto University, and the Shortcut. And it is funded by Udaman Leto. And today we have two guests joining us from Suomen Yrittäjät, Aicha and Reggie. Thank you for joining us and welcome to our show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you could just tell us a little about yourself.
Sure. Thanks for inviting me. I'm Aicha Manai. I work for an organization called Suomen Yrittäjät. I'm the daughter of entrepreneurs. I'm surrounded by entrepreneurs, but I'm not an entrepreneur. I'm a Finnish Tunisian. And that's about it. Thanks for having me.
Hi, I'm Reggie Rusan. I am an entrepreneur, and I also work for a corporation now. But I'm part of both the Suomen Yrittäjät and one of the smaller factions of it, being the Helsinki Yrittäjät. And in that capacity, I'm the chairperson for the Helsinki Entrepreneurs International. And I also get the pleasure to work with Aicha's group, which is the Migrant Entrepreneurs of Finland. I always mess up the name.
I think everyone does, but it's a group of entrepreneurs within Suomen Yrittäjät who help us serve entrepreneurs better and also bring about the viewpoints of migrant entrepreneurs in particular so that we can influence decision-making processes in Finland.
Okay. And what does entrepreneurship mean to you and why is it important?
Maybe the entrepreneur should answer first.
Entrepreneurship, and no one's ever asked me that question before. It is, I spent really a very long time in sort of the corporate world and sort of became an entrepreneur when I moved to Finland and was having difficulties finding work within a corporation. But now that I've become an entrepreneur, something that I really appreciate. It is really you have direct responsibility and control over your own destiny as an entrepreneur. And quite frankly, it is taking your idea and turning it into a viable business.
Yeah, I'd go from what Reggie said, that entrepreneurship means freedom, it means innovation, it means passion, it means solving problems, and hopefully more and more about making the world a better place in general. I think entrepreneurship is a key to many big global problems.
Yeah, and having expressed this freedom, that doesn't mean that it's all fun and games, because you know at the end of the day there has to be an invoiceable customer that's willing to pay for your services. And if you don't have that, your freedom is very limited.
Exactly, like freedom comes with responsibilities. Right. It's not just
definitely. Yeah. And what does your organization do and how do they help entrepreneurs?
Well, Suomen Yrittäjät as an organization, I'd say, helps entrepreneurs on three different levels. So the first, and I think the major or the most focal point of what Suomen Yrittäjät does is that we influence decision makers in Finland. Entrepreneurs, everything like regulations dictate what entrepreneurs can and cannot do in Finland and on a European level. So we need to have an organization that sees that the regulations that we have in place are serving entrepreneurs in a reasonable way. And this is done on three different levels. So on a European level, on a national level, and on a local level by influencing municipal decision makers, and on a national level by talking with constantly having an open communication with members of parliament, with ministries. So Suomen Yrittäjät is the organization that if there's a new law being passed, we always see how does this law affect small and medium-sized enterprises? Is it affecting them negatively or positively? What could be done so that it would affect entrepreneurs in a better way? Because our aim is to make Finland one of the best countries to do business in. Then the second one is from a networking perspective. So we have about 115,000 members. I would say that wherever you go in Finland, you will find a branch of Suomen Yrittäjät. It doesn't matter if you go to Kittilä or Espoon Keskus, wherever you will find Suomen Yrittäjät present there. So that offers a really wide range of networks for entrepreneurs to, for example, Reggie is a technological person. through Suomen Yrittäjät, you can meet entrepreneurs that come from a totally different type of bubble. And I think that's also a good thing. And then the third one is we offer training, mentoring, coaching. We aim to educate entrepreneurs. Not that we are the ones who tell like, yes, we will educate you. But the point is that once you start a business, if you start small and eventually you start growing, you start employing people, you probably need some help and support with people management, with going abroad, many different aspects of business. So that's where we come in and we try to offer these through different types of training and webinars and different type of educational content.
Yeah, I would agree. Since I get the ability to work both at the Finnish level with Aicha and then at the local level in Helsinki, all of those levels are quite important. I would say at the local level, information dissemination and networking are key. Although I'm sure there's lots of influencing of local governments, our local municipalities, but the work that we do at the Finland level with parliament and those sort of things, that's ultra important for entrepreneurs.
Okay. And at what stage should an entrepreneur reach out to you?
As an entrepreneur, I would say from the very beginning. One of the things when I was building my business, I was actually started building it in Espoo because that's where I lived, and I went to them. They helped me with my business plan, and I got lots of services from the Espoo Yrittäjät. As you know, in the Uusimaa area, Helsinki is the heavyweight, so wanting to help entrepreneurs, whether or not they were Finnish or non-Finnish entrepreneurs, connect together. So it's one of the reasons why I started to work with Helsinki Entrepreneurs International.
Yeah, I'd say if you're planning on starting a business, you haven't done anything about it yet, the new enterprise agency would be a good place to start. So Uusyrityskeskus. And then once you have, like Reggie said from the very beginning, once you become an entrepreneur, definitely Suomen Yrittäjät. And because I think we offer support mechanisms and advice and well, actually I forgot to mention that obviously one of the biggest things that we offer our members is legal advice. So we have the legal aid that is open every day from 8 to 8, I think, and you can call and ask with whatever problem you have. And we also offer legal advice when it comes to employing people, because most of the companies are small, and once they start employing people, they face different hurdles and that.
Yeah, I'd say it's almost a luxury being an entrepreneur in Finland because, one, the information is widely available. It's not always available in your native language, but I think they're making great strides at doing that. And then two, the services that are provided to the entrepreneur are better than I've seen in most other countries. I've lived in a few countries.
Yeah.
And even in the US, you wouldn't get the same type of support as
true.
a budding entrepreneur that you get here.
Yeah, I do feel like over here the ecosystem is very strong and everybody's very supportive.
Definitely.
Yeah. And how can you join Suomen Yrittäjät?
www.yrittäjät.fi/liity.
Okay.
Yes.
Great. That's good to know. And what makes Helsinki region especially good place for starting a business?
One of the things that the Suomen Yrittäjät, I would say, kicked off a project a while back ago was to gain statistics about the demographics of entrepreneurs. And I would speak as a migrant or immigrant or international entrepreneur. One of the things I was really impressed with is that there's well over 10,000 of us based on this study. Operating across Finland, we represent over 3.5 billion euros worth of revenue every year. And one of the things that we haven't talked about that I think is equally important is there's this promotion of entrepreneurship. And in Helsinki specifically, or in the Uusimaa area, the 1 in every 3 businesses that is started by an immigrant, or an international, whatever you want to call us. And I think because of that, you get more support as a non-native speaking Finnish person. So I think because of that, we represent such a large population within the entrepreneur community here in Helsinki. You have the ability to get better support.
Yeah, Helsinki definitely has better networks than other smaller cities. Also, obviously, it's the capital. It's near the airport. It has a good ecosystem. Maria 01, Helsinki Think Company, all these different entrepreneurial hubs that help with accelerating ideas and taking your idea to actual fruition. I think the city of Helsinki is very entrepreneurially friendly.
Yeah.
At least currently, it is, and so definitely there are lots of opportunities in Helsinki, and you can also find a lot more services in English in Helsinki than you would in other places.
And even groups like The Shortcut, which you mentioned
Yeah, The
before,
Shortcut,
they helped me out when I was starting out. So I owe lots to them. I always want to make sure that they get the respect that they're due. So
They're doing really well.
mhm.
Yeah. And what are the challenges which are faced by immigrant entrepreneurs?
Well, entrepreneurs in general in Finland, like Reggie said, I mean, Finland is a good country to do business in. I think on the global entrepreneurship monitor, we're ranked 11. So we're not like a horrible country to do business in. But of course, we want to become the best country. But if you think of entrepreneurs in general, usually the problems are taxation issues, that entrepreneurs don't necessarily properly understand how taxation actually works, and where are the places that you pay taxes, what are taxable, what are all of this. But when you compare to migrant entrepreneurs versus so-called native Finnish entrepreneurs, lack of networks is definitely one. Obviously, the language skills, and then not knowing the Finnish, I wouldn't say Finnish business culture, because I think all companies have their own cultures in the end, but in general, just the understanding how the Finnish system works. It takes a lot to actually understand how this country operates and find your place here.
Yeah, all of those are really important. I would highlight that, and I'm of the belief that Finns typically don't buy from and they don't hire people they don't know. And so building your network is really important. And as an international entrepreneur, you don't come in with that network that's built in. And Finns sort of take it for granted. They've all gone to the same schools. They have very tight-knit networks that are been pulled together. And even, especially if you're offering a service that there may be more competition in the marketplace, it's hard to kind of unravel those networks where people would want to buy from you if they don't know you. If you have a new service, then that's something different.
100% what Reggie said. That it is true that Finland is a very tightly knit cluster of different networks who hire each other. And I mean, not obviously always the case, but this is very, very common in Finland. So for a person who comes from a completely different background, different language, it's going to be very difficult to find their place. But then also, because we have the problem, we statistically know that people of foreign background and even people who are born in this country who just have so-called foreign-sounding names actually don't get hired. So then entrepreneurship becomes the only viable option for many people. And this is also why it's very important that this country is more entrepreneurially friendly. And at the same time, we need to get our employers to actually widen their perspective and see the possibilities in hiring a diverse group of people.
Yeah, and I think the big multinationals, they get it. The Kones, the Nokias, those companies we don't have to work with. But Finland is a country of small and medium-sized business. So is it 98%?
93% are higher, less than 10.
Yeah. And so that's where the larger amount of work needs to happen.
And the fact that we have about 283,000 companies, and out of those companies, 180,000 are actually solo entrepreneurs. So they don't have any employees. And these entrepreneurs usually work with other entrepreneurs. And like Reggie said, they then buy, like, I need to get my website, so I call a friend, and then I need to get my marketing plan, I call another friend who's an entrepreneur, and then all the entrepreneurs are basically employing each other. And then for a person who comes from a migrant background, it might be very difficult to get into that group so that they can also start selling their consultancy services or IT services or whatever they are.
Yeah. And being a part of the Yrittäjät helps you expand your network very quickly.
Finnish International Entrepreneurs on Facebook, I recommend that you join. We have about almost 2,000 members there, and it's for entrepreneurs only, and that's how we would like to, accept that I'm there. But mostly entrepreneurs and people who work with entrepreneurs. that's a very good place to also get to know other
Yeah.
entrepreneurs and widen your networks.
Yeah.
Also, maybe aspiring entrepreneurs who would
For
like to
sure.
be.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we also have a Helsinki Entrepreneurs International Facebook page also. There's lots of, I think we're over 2,000, 3,000 now, maybe even probably much more than that. I need to check. I haven't kept up with the statistics. But I think there's a lot of communities and support. And usually, if you know someone that's in a network, they'll point you to 2 other networks that can help you build your
Yes.
network.
Yeah. Networking is definitely very important. Like
Yeah.
once you move, it's all that everybody advises is like focus on your networks.
Yeah.
Network.
Yeah,
Network.
I can tell you that your network can provide everything from housing, banking to customers.
Yeah.
So, and as well as mentors and advice.
Yeah. And just remember that when you do networking, that's probably not a verb, but anyway, when networking, that it's a give and take process, that never go into networking thinking that you're going to use all these people for your own gain, because at the end you'll find yourself alone. So remember that it's a two-way street.
Definitely. Yeah. And what changes would you like to see to support immigrant entrepreneurship?
I'd say sorry, I have to put on cream because my hands are freezing. But yes, I would say the thing that mostly, which is very hard to just make happen, is a change in attitude. So when we look at media, when we read news articles about migrant entrepreneurs, it's very often that we find either the story of the great startup entrepreneur who came to Finland and wants to invest millions and was somehow told to leave, like the case that just happened a few months ago. Or then we have the case of, all of these Nepalese restaurants are taking advantage of their employees, and you should be very wary of these restaurants, and all of them are part of an organized crime ring, basically, to kind of, obviously I'm highlighting here, but we need to have a multifaceted story. So it's very dangerous if we just keep on repeating this one narrative of what migrant entrepreneurship is, that it's only restaurants, it's only ethnic stores, and it's only masseuse people. There has to be, I think the media has a very big responsibility in this, that we have to broaden the perspective. And this is something that we actually, because Suomen Yrittäjät, we have our own media. So we really focus on the fact that we want to bring different types of stories. We want to showcase that, like Reggie said, more than 10,000 migrant entrepreneurs are here in Finland, and almost every third business is opened by a migrant here in the capital region, that it's a diverse set of entrepreneurs that we have here.
Yeah, from professional services to pizza.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Everything is great throughout the whole spectrum. So I think the promotion of internationals in general in Finland has to improve. The fact that 99.9999% of Finns don't know that that there's well over 10,000 immigrant entrepreneurs working in Finland, and that we are the fastest growing entrepreneur class inside of Finland, and we're already representing billions of euros of revenue internally in Finland. That should be something that people know as much as these other stories that Aicha mentioned, and for some reason, apparently that doesn't sell the press because they don't publish it.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think there is a lot of requirement for the media to throw light on the good cases also, which are happening.
Yeah.
And the good cases don't always have to be the startup entrepreneurs. Yeah. I think that's also kind of, it's strange, but there is this buzz, or actually not as bad as it was a few years ago, but there's definitely this hyping up and this buzz around startup entrepreneurs, even though, what is it, like 1 in 1,000 actually succeeds, and then we're making such a big deal. Obviously, they're innovative and they're doing a lot of good things, and we need these accelerators and incubators. But the reality is that most companies still work in the very traditional sectors, such as construction and service and healthcare, etc. So,
and those are great for the Finnish economy. So, and I think categorically, immigrants are looked at as people who come here to kind of live off the system, and we have a very different narrative to communicate, because that's not really the case. And you'll find that the sort of one, as an international entrepreneur, we're far more likely to hire other immigrants as well. So it really helps the whole ecosystem because those other immigrants typically aren't going to find their first job within a classic Finnish organization. So they have to show some history of being successful working for other companies.
So, what does the future hold for immigrant entrepreneurs?
I think for entrepreneurs in general, Finland has to realize that this country it has always been diverse, but it's becoming more and more diverse. Currently, every 10th child that is born in Finland has either one or two parents who were originally born somewhere else outside of Finland. And these people are making up the Finnish consumers. And if companies don't start catering to this diverse group of consumers, they will eventually die out in the competition because there will be migrant entrepreneurs who definitely are aware of the diversity in Finland and who are able to cater to their needs. So I think entrepreneurs in general really have to take a deeper look at what Finland is becoming and what Finland will look like in the, say, from today to 10 years.
Yeah. And I think also as Finnish companies become more globally aware, they should first seek a person from the community that they're looking to expand to. So they can use the kind of the feet on the ground that are already in Finland to help them expand abroad. So I think there's lots of positive things specifically for the international entrepreneur, as well as definitely the immigrant entrepreneur workforce is already a force to be reckoned with. Again, 3.5 billion in revenue is not a small marketplace in Finland. That's quite large. And so I think people are already sort of overlooking this community that has a large spending power, and it's only going to increase as time goes on.
100%. I have to give one example of this, like what you said, that when you employ someone who comes from a certain background, you also attract, like let's say you want to go to Namibia and you hire a Namibian person who knows Namibian people, who has networks there. When you go to Namibia, the connection will probably be formed much more easily than if this person from Kittilä just goes there who has no clue. But an example, is it lestadiolais community in Finland? I mean, these are obviously Finnish people, but just a minority in Finland. Is it lestadiolais in English? Anyway, this religious minority in Finland, that I heard a story of this company who hired, they were selling like gardening equipment or something like this, and then they hired a person from this lestadiolais community to work as their salesperson. And they noticed like an increase in their sales because lestadiolais people are generally they come from large family communities. So this person who started working for this gardening store told his community members, and all of them started shopping in that store. So these are just like small examples of what can actually happen when you increase the diversity of the company that you own.
Yeah. And I can say there's lots of markets that, because we don't have particular issues here in Finland, that Finnish companies are missing out. And I can give you sort of a real case in point. I help Finnish edtech companies go to different African markets, Nigeria and Tanzania specifically, sometimes South Africa. But in those markets, there's a huge need for a complete end-to-end school management system. And as an example, there's no offering in the Finnish space because Finns don't need that. And when you look at the market size of a country like Nigeria, that would it's I don't know, 20 times more than the size of Finland itself. And I know that Finns could easily develop that if they recognize the problem here. And so it's a benefit in hiring the sort of diverse workforce that it can help you expose areas that we may not need to solve here, but those problems are huge globally. And if you can be first in the market there with the local representative, your products will win.
What advice would you give to an entrepreneur in 5 words?
Start now and seek help.
I'd say lead with heart and passion, get your numbers right, get a mentor, ask for help.
Yeah.
And join Suomen Yrittäjät.
And obviously, join Suomen Yrittäjät.
Yeah. That's been great. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing these insights with us.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
inviting me.